Guys, welcome back to the Back Check podcast. And today we're going to talk about a player who's discussed widely amongst the NHL and something that could potentially happen in the near future. Alexander Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's 894 goal record. Now, this is something Ovechkin has had to. It's been a microscope the past couple seasons of people talking about, and when we look around the NHL, and Ovechkin's missed a couple lockout years, he's had a COVID year. It does bring us questions to where he could be, but where will he be ranked when the time is up? And so I'm going to ask the other guys their thoughts and opinions, and we'll start out with Jay.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is clearly an extension, not to get a cup. I mean, Ovechkin already has one cup on his name in 2018, but clearly I think that he does want to really beat Gretzky and just want to go for more records, obviously. 5 years, I mean, honestly, that's a bit of a stretch if it's Alexander Ovechkin. I mean, he's kind of old if you consider it. He's no longer in his, but I mean, who knows? He's never proven anything wrong to us. He's proven us all wrong. I mean, in terms of that, he's able to score. He's still consistent. He's still a leader on this team. He's obviously the best capital player of all time, no doubt. And I mean, he's almost approximately 130 goals away. So if you really consider it, I wouldn't say he's really that far. And I think this contract it's decent, 47.5 million for 5 years. It might haunt them a little later, but it's Alexander Ovechkin. I mean, you can't go anything wrong when it's probably the greatest player in our generation. So I'll pass my thoughts to Ethan here.
I mean, yeah, I definitely see Ovechkin. We know what he can do in this league. We know that he puts up, although maybe not consistent numbers and consistent goals, definitely putting up consistent points every year. Goes from 50 goal seasons to 30 goal seasons to 40-something goal seasons. Of course, being cut short by COVID and all this and having some restrictions on his gameplay and his record-breaking abilities, I do see a potential pass for Ovechkin, considering he is 35 years old and still probably has at least 3 to 4 years left in him in the league. And unless he reaches something like a career devastating injury or something along the lines of that, or that will prevent him from playing any further, I don't see him stopping. I see him keeping his momentum and pressing through in the league. But I don't know, man. If he takes 28% of the shots from that one area and he continues to do that, and clearly it's working out great for him, then he could definitely pass Gretzky's record for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
164 goals away, I believe. 164. Yeah.
When you look at a guy like Ovechkin, and people is like, it's so easy to stop him on the power play. He's been doing it since he's entered the league. So when people talk about, when he posts up in his one-timer spot where he scores, it feels like all of his goals. But when we look at Ovechkin, I mean, nobody's been able to stop him from that area, and he's been doing it for 15 years. So it's quite impressive. And I know we look at it and we definitely see him maybe on the decline with his game a little bit. Maybe the Capitals are more on a decline. He's not as good as he wasn't as fast as he once was, but he's still got a talent. He's still a strong player, and he still knows how to shoot the puck better than anybody in the National Hockey League. And
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this isn't going to work out too well. For 5 years, it's not going to work out. For maybe 2 or 3 years, it could, because look at their oldest players and their most long tenure players, and look how long their contracts are. You have Ovechkin. Okay, he has a $9.5 million contract, right? You got Nicholas Backstrom. He has $9.2 million that runs for approximately 4 more seasons. Evgeny Kuznetsov has a $7.8 million contract, runs for 4 more seasons. Oshie, 5.75, runs for 4 more seasons.
Yeah,
it's gonna be, and then John Carlson has an $8 million contract that runs for 6 more seasons or 5 more seasons. So it's really, really difficult if you consider how much money they're gonna be paying their top guys. They're gonna probably have a lot of buyouts. They're gonna have possibly a penalty coming their way, but it's gonna be incredible to see what they do. But now the question turns. They paid Ovechkin big time money. Isn't he going to really break Gretzky's record in goal scoring?
I think he will. I honestly do. I think he's a guy who can give you, to be honest, I think he can give you at least 30 goals a season. That's probably his floor, to be honest. And a guy maybe at the max, you could say 50, but to say like 40 goals I don't think would be a stretch for a guy like Ovechkin, especially he'll probably score half of those on the power play. But I think, I do think it's doable. And I think obviously he does have that in the back of his mind. And for the Capitals, who are an older team to begin with, they're already on the most of their core guys are up in their later stages of their career. Obviously, they're gonna try to help Ovechkin do that, and they're gonna try to contend for like probably their last time in the next couple of years until they are gonna have to put it in rebuild mode. So that will be interesting to watch too. The philosophy of what happens with the team and what will happen with Ovechkin and his goal totals.
Ethan, your thoughts?
Yeah, yes, is my thought, and I do think that he will pass this record because even in Ovechkin's slowest seasons, he still puts up these numbers. Had a bit of an off year last year, but of course, with COVID and all that, it's kind of hard to put up a huge amount of goals. I believe he had 24 last year, and but even that was his lowest season in his whole career so far, and he has not really steeped below 32 goals before in his season. He's kind of fluctuated up and down, almost always playing above 70 games as well, maybe having 2 seasons lower than 70 games. And he's definitely someone that can unfortunately break Gretzky's record, and I do think that he will. In means of the Capitals situation, yeah, declining team that's getting old. I mean, of course, they've done what they've needed to do, and definitely a team that will not be a contender in a year and a half, 2 years. Very low prospect market there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he's gonna break it. I'm gonna be really straight up with you now. I mean, you have 5 years left, all right? Let's say he plays all 5 years. In the last few seasons, he's played what 2019 to 20. They played 68 games. Ovechkin was there. The year before, he missed 1 game, and then in the year 2016-17 and the 17-18 season, he didn't miss a single game. But I mean, I don't think he's gonna do it. Age might catch up to Ovechkin here. I mean, look at Crosby. Is Crosby the guy we once saw when he was much in his prime? No, he's developing weapons all across him, like Gensel and McCann when he was there in Pittsburgh. He had a bunch of weapons on him. Ovechkin's gonna have to rely, I feel. I don't think he might be able to do it. 130 sounds like not that much to go when you're considering a 30+ goal scorer per year. But again, I don't really know. I'm not feeling too good about this. And there's not been 1 year except for this season where he has not scored more than 30 goals in his career, by the way. I'm seeing all the stats right now. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to probably regret it, but I have a very, very good feeling that there's going to be 1 or 2 seasons, which is going to be his massive downfall. I don't think he's going to do it.
Fair.
Players can regress just like that. And you start to see it with guys like, obviously, some of the older guys, like especially on defense, like Chara and Keith and Doughty, obviously weren't good as what they once were. And then Carlson with his injury, Erik Karlsson, and then just veteran guys like Fortin still kicking around the league, obviously not an 100-point player anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see, does Ovechkin keep his pace where he is right now? Does he decline once he hits that age? People say it's around 36 years old, 37 years old, depending on who you are, how long you've played. So that's something everybody's going to keep an eye on, especially Capitals fans and probably Gretzky as well.
Yeah, Gretzky's probably shivering right now in fear. It's gonna be really, really, really interesting to watch.
He's scared, yeah.
I'm sure
All right,
Gretzky's
guys, thanks for tuning in and have a good day.